5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Be wary, champions. My vault is many things, but harmless is not one of them. These whelplings perceive anyone not of my blood.
Shriek, mystic vapors.
Their gaze
Shriek, mystic vapors.
if they see you,
Mystic vapors.
creatures will waiting to purge you from the vault.
Mystic vapors. CC shards. CC shards. Erratic growth. Mystic vapors. Wild eruption. Wild eruption.
The sunlit flame has been delving into
Erratic growth.
They do not understand the dangers within, nor the powers they
Mystic
wield.
vapors. Mystic vapors. Erratic growth. Mystic vapors. Wild eruption. Infused ground. Wild eruption.
Once, my beloved Malagos gifted me with arcane seeds. I planted them here. A little garden.
Erratic growth.
It looks as though it has grown wild over the years. I will need you to...
Wild eruption. Erratic growth. Wild eruption. Erratic growth. Wild eruption. Infused ground. Erratic growth. Wild eruption. Erratic wild growth. Eruption. Infused ground. Infused ground. Wild eruption. Wild eruption. Infused ground. Infused erratic ground. Growth. Wild eruption. Leyline sprouts. Erupting fissure. Explosive brand. Consuming stomp. Leyline sprouts.
location of my vault was chosen to harness and make use of this powerful ley line. While a marvel to behold, I am unsure of what effects it will have on your mortal form. Do be on the lookout for the growth of extra appendages.
Shriek. Waking Bane. Shriek. Waking Bane. Piercing shards. Piercing shards. Piercing shards. Waking Bane. Piercing shards. Piercing shards.
You have discovered one of my books of translocation. Since the majority of the vault's caretakers are flightless, I incorporated a means of safe travel via these tomes.
Waking Bane. Forbidden knowledge. Waking Bane. Icy bindings. Waking Bane. Waking Bane. Icy bindings. Icy bindings. Icy bindings. Reflect. Spell Frost Breath. Icy bindings. Spell Frost Breath. Icy bindings.
Well met, my...
Icy bindings. Spell Frost Breath. Icy bindings. Icy bindings. Icy bindings. Summon Draconic Image. Arcane Cleave. Reflect. Ancient Aura. Summon Draconic Image. Arcane Cleave. Reflect. Ancient Aura.
Sense a breach behind it. Tear this place apart. I will expose whatever
Bestial Roar.
away within these vaults. The rush was not final. Consequences will be dire. Please, hurry.
Bestial Roar. 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 Bestial roar.
What is she hiding? Did she send you?
Frost bomb. Icy Devastator.
Be mine.
Absolute Zero. Frost bomb. Icy Devastator. Frost bomb. Frost bomb.
We are too late. Oh. Oh no.
Reflect. Crystalline roar. Brittle. Arcane eruption. Reflect. Brittle. Unleash destruction. Reflect. Brittle. Arcane eruption.
My dear one. He knew that wild magic was dangerous, but he meddled with it anyway. By the time we found him, we could not stop the growth. I placed him in stasis until I could find a proper cure. And then I was gone. Champion, you did what was needed and ended his suffering. Thank you. I am but a simulacrum. But once, I was a mother as well. Please, leave me to mourn.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We wary champions. My vault is many things, but harmless is not one of them. These whelplings perceive anyone not of my blood as a threat. Their gaze pierces all. If they see you, all
Mystic vapors.
waiting to purge you from the vault.
Mystic vapors. Erratic growth. Mystic vapors. Mystic vapors. Wild eruption. Infused ground. Wild eruption. Erratic growth.
The sundered flame have been delving into my vault. They do not understand the dangers within, nor the powers.
Mystic vapors.
Once, my beloved Malagos gifted me with arcane seeds. I planted them here. A little garden for me.
Erratic growth.
It's as though it has grown wild over the years. I will need you to prune it.
Wild eruption. Erratic growth. Wild eruption. Infused ground. Wild eruption. Erratic growth. Erratic growth. Infused ground. Wild eruption. Wild eruption. Leyline sprouts. Erupting fissure. Explosive brand. Consuming stomp. Leyline sprouts. Erupting fissure. Explosive brand.
Come, this way. location of my vault was chosen to harness and make use of this powerful ley line. While a marvel to behold, I am unsure of what effects it will have on your mortal form. Do be on the lookout for the growth of extra appendages.
And straight at last. And nobody's going to stare at me.
On the contrary, I think that men are certainly going to.
It's me, Irene Sanders. Good evening, Walter.
Good evening.
Here are the X-ray photos that Professor Abel asked for yesterday. You look completely worn out, Walter. Is anything wrong? The professor is driving you too hard.
No. He's a genius, and it's really a pleasure to work with him. But he's beginning some experiments that, in my opinion, exceed certain ethical limits.
Why? What do you mean?
Irene, you know me. You know that I'm not what you might call a very religious man.
No, that's true.
But now I'm starting to question certain things. Has any man the right to compel nature to surrender her closest secret? I can't answer. I'm very much confused.
Walter, has the professor spoken to you yet?
About what?
About me. He examined me 2 weeks ago, and I wanted to know it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I really don't know what's wrong with me these days. Yes. Well, he's very satisfied with his findings, and he's convinced an operation can be successful. But I'm worried, Irene. You know there are risks involved.
I have full confidence in the professor. Walter, I'm so lucky. Oh, just to imagine, I'll be able to stand straight at last, and nobody's going to stare at me.
On the contrary, I think that men are certainly going to look at you.
Walter, where are you? I need you.
The professor wants me. I will be able to see you soon. We'll talk about it then. Goodbye, Irene.
Good night, Walter.
Excuse me, nurse. I'm looking for the house of Professor Abel.
That's it.
Dr. Oud with a message from Professor Hartman.
Hello, Dr. Wood.
Good evening, Professor.
May I present Dr. Burke, my assistant. He's a first-class surgeon and an excellent architect. It's he who designed this house. This is Bert Yeager, an engineer of genius. He designed and built my special operating table. It permits me to work without assistance. He's a little strange, the result of a brain operation. But he's a good and faithful collaborator and worthy of our confidence. We all live here together. Where are you from, by the way?
I can't even tell you, Professor. I was the only survivor of a shipwreck. Both of my parents died I was a few months old.
You have a very strange name.
That was the name of the wrecked ship, SS Oud.
Nah. Dr. Hartman has recommended you highly. Why do you wish to work with me?
I have followed your recent experiments with great interest, Professor, especially that in which you succeeded in removing the head from a dog's body and keeping it alive for 4 months.
But the Russians performed that experiment months before I did.
We plan to conduct a series of unprecedented experiments shortly on keeping human tissue alive after death.
I'm particularly interested in the grafting of healthy organs to replace diseased ones.
That is a field in which I'm extremely interested.
Ah, well then you're the man we're looking for. This is my operating room. You will find everything you'll ever need here. Electrocardiograph, electrocephalograph, and this is my silent assistant which Bert built for me. And that is my Serum Z. With this serum, I'm able to keep an organ alive after separating it from its body.
Fantastic. Fantastic. That's absolutely sensational. Why have you kept this a secret, Professor?
Oh, do you think it's so important? I'm not an ambitious man. What's important for me is the progress of science. Yes, that was used to support the dog's head.
Theoretically, one should be able to repeat the experiment with a man's head.
But that's absurd. I would never have thought of such a thing.
I said theoretically, Professor.
Yes, you're perfectly right. Theoretically, it's possible. Thanks to the advances of modern surgery and my development of Serum Z, it's possible to consider operations which would until recently have been considered unthinkable. When can you move in with us, sir?
Whenever you wish, Professor. Tomorrow.
Good. Walter, leave us alone.
Bert,
Yes?
what do you think of the new man?
I don't know. But the professor needs him.
Dr. Oud. Do forgive me, but I must call your attention to a most important fact. The professor has a weak heart. A very weak heart. I love him dearly. Any undue emotion might bring on
I'm
a...
here for only one purpose, to work. Good evening.
You get a big kick out of taking your clothes off in front of those slobs, don't you?
If you want to make me a better offer, go ahead. I'm sick of standing around shivering and playing the model for you.
Nobody says you have to. I just don't like seeing you undressed in front of others.
Uh-huh. You're jealous, plain jealous. If you don't like it, do something about it. We could live like millionaires if you wanted. If your father, the great John Lerner, would only make you work a little on your law examinations long enough to get your diploma. You and your pictures. Who'd buy any of your pictures?
Oh, be quiet. You make me sick.
I make you sick, huh? Who needs you anyway?
Miss Lily, on stage.
Yes, I'm coming. So I make you sick, huh?
1 minute to go, Miss Lily.
Just wait. Martini, please, Frank.
One very dry martini for Miss Lily. And whiskey for you, Paul.
Come on, let's make up again.
Oh, leave me alone. I disgust you, don't forget.
We say a lot of things when we're mad.
Another martini, please, Frank.
Lily, don't drink so much.
Another one, Frank, please.
Don't be like that.
Oh, stop it. Always the same old tricks.
I'm sorry.
Gentlemen, will you please examine these two X-ray plates? Both patients are in serious condition. One photo is that of the spinal column of a young man, the other that of an old man's heart.
Fracture of the vertebral column with partial rupture of the spinal cord. I see no hope for surgical intervention. Who is the man?
An unidentified man. A tramp run down on the highway. He hasn't long to live. Now you, Dr. Hood.
Innervation of the heart, possible rupture of the artery in a very short time.
Incurable?
We have one chance. Give this man here a new heart right away. For example, the heart of that man.
Exactly. This operation will be performed. Yes, the photo on the left is of my own heart, gentlemen.
But, Professor, I'm sorry to have to say so, but we can't possibly go that far.
We shall go ahead with it. I haven't much time. Neither does he. Come over here. I've worked out exactly how we shall proceed. First phase.
Walter? Here's the case history. I'm afraid it's completely hopeless.
I know, but we're going to try anyway.
Is there anything the matter?
No, I'll see you later, Irene.
Goodbye.
Examine his heart?
Yes, I did, Professor. Everything's all right.
Good. Bert, listen carefully. Listen very carefully to what I say. We're attempting an operation that has never been done. It will be very complicated. You must do whatever Dr. Hood tells you to do. Do you understand? Even if what you do seems very strange. Promise me that.
Yes, I promise, sir.
Good, my boy. Gentlemen, shall we begin?
It's now exactly 9:47. We operate in 12 hours. 2 hours from now, we shall examine the heart again.
I'll do that.
Dr. Oud! Dr. Oud! Come quickly! Quick, Dad! What are you doing?
I'm going to cover the body.
Why?
Why? The operation is impossible now. I have told you that the man's already dead. What are you doing there?
We'll operate anyway.
But are you out of your mind?
We have one chance to save the professor's life, and we can't waste time. We have to try.
You mean giving the professor the dead man's heart? I won't let you do it.
Get out!
I'm going to call the morgue. Tell them to pick up the body.
Put down that telephone.
It's true. You really are insane.
morning. Dr. Burke has disappeared. All his things are gone, too.
I know. He left last night. He may not be back. We shall have to go ahead without him. Burke, we must save the professor's life. Ready? Scalpel. Tampon. Clamps. Clamps.
Heart weakening. Respiration weakening. Respiration stopped.
Serum Z.
Operation. Stop you. Stop, please. Stop, please. I'm tired. I know.
Be calm, Professor. Too much emotion can be extremely dangerous now. Do you hear me clearly now?
Yes.
I'll give you the facts. The man whose heart we planned to use died before the operation. Dr. Burke lost his nerve and ran out on us. I attempted to take the heart of the dead man and to graft it in place of yours. But your body didn't survive the shock. That left me only one last chance. And that was to perform the dog operation on your head. And I succeeded. I have beaten death. You will live.
What kind of a monster are you, Ood? You want a freak to show in the circuses? You're capable of it. Kill me.
You're a great man, a scientist. Your brain made you great. The rest doesn't count. I've kept your brain alive. You will live. You'll live. I've saved your brain for mankind, Professor.
You're not human. You cannot make me do it. I refuse. I won't do it. Who gave permission to you for this operation?
Did you ask the dog permission before you operated?
A dog is not a human being. It's only for science. Oh, kill me. I don't want to go on living now.
No. You think. And so you will live.
Yes, perhaps you're right. I've no more strength left. I'm confused. I'm tired. Let me sleep. I must sleep.
Actually increase the oxygen supply.
Is he alive?
Yes. You may see him. Yes? No, Dr. Burke's not here. Hello? Who's speaking, please? No, Miss Sanders, we've had no news of him yet. Why are you worried?
You've never done this before. Yes? Have the police been notified?
Yes, of course. I've already called the police myself. The hospital, Santa Maria Street, yes. Very well. Police station? I wish to report a missing person.
All right. Who's speaking, please? Dr. who? Dr. Walter Burke. Carl Street. 1. Around 40. 6 feet. Build slender. Particular sign? None. For 2 weeks. Good. We'll put out a search for him right away. 1 second, please. Say, weren't you talking about a doctor just now? This is about a doctor who disappeared. Been gone for 2 weeks. Might be the same man.
Here it is. Hello, I'm Inspector Stern. Who's speaking? Dr. Who? Another doctor. No, I mean, we have another doctor here. Say, you might want to speak to him.
Very well. I'll be there in a half hour.
I said you might want to speak to him, Doc, but don't count on his speaking to you. He's got a very good reason. His head's been chopped off. Not a very pretty sight. Looks like he might have got caught in a propeller. You're a doctor, you must be used to this sort of thing.
Yes. But that's not Dr. Burke. Dr. Burke is about 40 years old. That's the body of an old man.
Do you recognize this? That's the only way we knew the man was a doctor. That's all we found on the body, nothing else.
A medical school symbol. But I've never seen this ring. I'm sorry. I've allowed you to sleep several hours now.
It's you again, Old. It wasn't a dream.
I need your impression, everything you feel. It will help for additional research.
Can't you leave me alone to die? Have you no heart?
You're talking like an idiot, Abel. Concentrate hard now. You must tell me the formula for Serum Z, you hear? I can't find it in your papers anywhere.
I won't let you have it. It's here in my head. You will never know.
Irene Sanders. Let me introduce myself, Dr. Oud, the new assistant to the professor. You've come because of your cousin. I'm very sorry, but we still had no word from him.
Were you here when he left?
Yes. During some recent experiments we were conducting with Professor Abel, Burke was always on the very point of a nervous breakdown, a crisis. Some days he would become particularly excited and he'd speak for hours of scruples and conscience and of God. He must have lost his nerve and simply decided to leave.
It's possible. Yes, he's been talking a lot about his scruples lately, and yet... Oh, God help me.
Irene, everything is all right. Dr. Burke told me about the problem you have, and Professor Abel shares my opinion. I perform such operations often and with success. I will operate them.
No.
Don't be afraid of me, Irene. Irene, you want an operation, don't you? Just think a minute how wonderful it's going to be when this lovely face of yours has a normal and beautiful young body to go with it.
No. No. You know what that man just said to me? Miss Lily, he said, you are so lovely. I could make you the greatest name in Europe if I wanted to. And he has some very interesting engagements for me.
Yeah, I'll bet. What's he in, the white slave business? Looks like it. That's just exactly what you need.
I
5,
suppose you think you're the
4,
only man for me.
3,
Another whiskey,
2, 1.
another whiskey, and never mind what he says. A whiskey, or I'm going to wreck this joint.
Lily, stop it. You're drunk.
Me drunk. I never get drunk. Look at this. I can stand on one leg on a chair. Isn't that proof?
Many things, but harmless is not. These whelplings receive anyone out of my blood as a...
Mystic vapors.
Oh, sorry, mister. I didn't...
Mystic vapors.
Don't mention it.
Erratic growth.
See? He's got good manners, not like you.
Mystic vapors.
You're a
Wild eruption. Infused ground. Wild eruption.
Why do you ask that?
Shriek.
You
Shriek.
hold me like I was dead.
Shriek.
Is that better?
That's... Don't you think so?
CC shards.
Think that I'm a professional dancer.
CC shards.
How?
CC
But I
shards.
know you, Stella. Nothing is impossible.
Dr. Brand.
CC shards.
Dr. Who, just as you are now, Lily.
But I'd never recognized you. You're so changed. The gray hair and...
Yes, my illness caused it. Blonde hair suits you very well. I recognized you right away.
I suppose you'll turn me in now.
Mystic vapors.
Poisoned your husband. And as a result of an experiment, I have a man's life on my tongue. That makes us even, I think.
You mean you're still doing those awful experiments?
I'm now legally a doctor. And you're a striptease dancer, huh?
I work this place because I need the money, that's all. I've got to have a drink.
One martini for Miss Lily.
Erratic growth.
As usual.
Mystic vapors.
That's right.
Wild eruption.
I must go now, Lily.
Infused ground. Infused ground. Wild eruption. Erratic growth.
Concentrate.
Infused ground.
Can you recall all the details of Nurse Sander's illness?
Shriek. Shriek.
Correct.
Shriek.
I have studied all aspects of her case, and an operation now will be entirely successful.
CC shards.
Brilliant ideas occurred to me.
CC crystalline rupture.
To proceed.
I will give her a perfectly formed body, a new body.
Are you insane? So you have made one monster already, have
CC
you?
shards.
Enough.
I will perform the operation which you had planned. I want to operate on Irene tomorrow. But unfortunately, she refuses to allow me to touch her. I need your help. You must speak to her.
No, I don't want to be seen like this. You must have pity. You can't do it.
She doesn't have to see you. She need only hear your voice. Tell her you're very busy and that she can trust me.
Erratic growth.
I will if you give me your word of honor. You'll try no experiments of any kind on her.
Wild eruption.
You have nothing to fear.
Wild eruption. Infused ground. Wild eruption. Infused ground. Erratic growth.
Your cousin has
Infused ground. Wild eruption.
See the letter?
Erratic growth. Infused ground. Erratic growth. Infused ground.
It was mailed from somewhere in Austria. Unfortunately, he didn't give
Wild
us exact
eruption.
address. We now know that he's safe. He expects to return within a few weeks.
Did he say anything about me?
Yes. He asked Professor Abel
Wild
to operate
eruption.
as quickly as possible.
Erratic growth.
But I don't understand. Who was against the operation the last time we spoke?
Certainly. But I'm sure he's thought the matter over again because the professor says he now agrees.
Can I talk to the professor?
Mm-hmm.
Ley line sprouts.
Professor Abel, Irene Sanders wishes to speak with you, please.
Irene,
Good evening, Professor.
Irene, I cannot see you now. If you agree to the operation, it can be performed tonight. I have to leave soon.
Erupting fissure.
You can arrange the details with Dr. Hood.
Oh, but so soon?
Professor Abel drew up a precise plan. Just say the
Explosive
word,
brand.
Irene, and I will begin preparations at once.
But I must tell my landlady and let the hospital know and...
You can leave all that to me and Bert. Go and rest a while now. Bert's fixed your room. We'll perform the operation in a few hours.
Consuming stomp. Ley line sprouts.
There's just nobody in the place who wants his portrait.
Maybe the boss would like one.
Erupting
Oh,
fissure.
tomorrow I'll find some rich banker who wants me to design a tombstone for his wife.
Oh, that's all
Very good, Lily. You really are a born philosopher.
Who cares about philosophy?
What is it that's troubling you? You're drinking entirely too much. Lately, you've changed completely.
It's such a rat race. This town and these men out there. I hate this lousy life. I'm sick of this place.
I'm unsure of what effects it will have
Who's
on
there?
your mortal form. Do be on the lookout for the growth of extra appendages.
Are you finished with me?
Why?
Because I'm tired of this.
You're also tired of me, perhaps.
Yes, that's right.
You mean I should leave you with this fellow, is that it?
This is my dressing room. Now get out of here.
All right.
Waking vein.
But I pity you.
Waking vein.
What do you want with me? Leave me alone. Why did you come back?
You have discovered one of my books of translocation.
I'm afraid of you.
Since the majority of the
Why
world's
afraid,
caretakers
Stella?
are flightless, I incorporated
Don't you still have me to
into
thank for the
travel
operation
by
which changed your face and saved your life? Have you forgotten? You've no reason to fear me.
I'm supposed to. I don't know. It's just all my past.
I see findings.
impression on me, and
Forget all that now. Come on, we'll have some fun.
Waking vein. Forbidden
that's
knowledge.
a real good idea. Yeah, let's have some fun. I want to dance and hear some music and meet
Waking
some
vein.
people and have laughs. And...
Stop. Don't move for a moment.
Why?
You still have a beautiful body.
La 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 la, la 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 la. Oh, gosh almighty, this is a palace you got. Hey, I never thought that of you, darling. And this is all yours?
It was all left to me, Lily. But material things don't interest me. It's living things that fascinate me.
Uh-huh. Are you falling for me, honey? Now, why don't you get me a drink?
I see findings. I see findings.
So you in
Not quite.
Nobody else here but you?
Not exactly.
Spell frost breath.
What's the glass?
Drink it and find out.
It's not poisoned, I hope.
That's not my specialty.
It's good.
Now you can go to sleep.
Yeah, but I'm not ready to go to sleep.
Hey, Sanders. Will you
I
come
see
downstairs,
findings.
please?
Who's that, Doctor?
A patient got it. I gave her something to make her sleep. It won't take very long. She's a dancer. She has a fabulous body, doesn't she?
I see findings.
Don't be afraid, Irene. Just think of how it'll be when you have a body like that girl.
Summon draconic image. Arcane cleave. Ancient orb. Summon Draconic Image. Arcane Cleave. Ancient Orb. Overwhelming Energy.
I want you to follow this operation, Abel.
Overwhelming Energy. Overwhelming Energy. Overwhelming Energy. Overwhelming Energy.
Oh, cowbell!
Summon Draconic Image. Arcane Cleave. Ancient Orb.
Poor Ashley. I do not blame her. I should have thought of her before I left. This door. I sense a breach behind it. The sound of flame must be this way.
Bestial Roar. Bestial Roar.
Come here,
Bestial Roar. Bestial Roar.
I want to see the professor at once.
Professor Abel's away now. How do you feel?
Well, I've a strange kind of feeling. As if my whole body would change. As if my body didn't know what to do with my wish. Why must I wear this necklace?
So the position of the spinal cord will not be disturbed. In a week or two, we'll remove it.
Bestial Roar.
Here, sit down.
Bestial Roar.
The first cigarette tastes good, doesn't it?
But I've never smoked before.
You'll find that many things will be changed in your life.
This can't be true. Look at my hands. They're not like they were. There, the nail here. It was ripped off as a child. Now it's back again.
Irene, your whole body was transformed. It's not the same.
Bestial Roar.
Your glands will be generating first. 117 days you were kept in a state of hibernation.
Bestial
And
roar.
while you were asleep, I changed numerous organs and successfully operated on your figure.
My feet. They're so small now. My shoes will be too big for me.
What is she hiding?
You have a lovely body, Irene.
Did she send you?
Frost bomb.
Give me my coat back.
Don't be foolish. We'll get you some new ones tomorrow.
But I can't stay like this.
Why can't you?
Icy Devastator.
Don't be afraid.
Absolute Zero.
The operation's over now. I've left no marks on your lovely body.
Frost bomb.
You're so beautiful. No more hiding from me.
Icy Devastator.
Why run from everything you desire? You can't run
Frost
away
bomb.
from yourself.
Icy Devastator.
We are too late.
Irene, open up. Don't act like a child. Stop this nonsense. What are you doing?
Reflect. Crystalline Roar.
All right. You can come out. I'll leave you alone.
Brittle. Arcane Eruption. Brittle. Reflect. Unleash destruction. Brittle.
Miss Irene, come in, dear. Come in, dear. Whatever have you been? Why didn't you drop me a card?
Reflect.
They called many, many times in the hospital to ask when you would be returning. I said I didn't know. Oh, I forgot. Some man called and said you were going to leave for a trip and will be gone for 3 months. I would have called the police then, but you know... Wait, it's a miracle. What happened to you, Miss Irene? Well, you're beautiful now. It's lovely. I was operated on. Isn't it wonderful? Wonderful. Come to my room and tell me all about it. No.
With it anyway.
I'm terribly tired. I must get some rest. We'll talk later. Yes, of course, my dear. Of course. Of course. Good night. Good night. Good night.
I placed him
Good
in
night.
stasis until I could find a proper cure.